Hey there, welcome. Come on in. Have a seat. We've saved a spot for you. This is Boards and Chords, and today we're talking about the Seven Wonders. Now, the Seven Wonders board game is one which uses a mechanic called card drafting to build a civilization and its associated great wonder. Starting with a hand of 6 cards, each player simultaneously selects one that he or she will keep and use that turn and lays it face down on the table. The remaining cards are then handed off to a neighboring player, depending on which age you're in as to which direction it goes, while receiving a hand from the player on the opposite side. The game takes place over the course of 3 ages, and the age ends whenever each hand is reduced to 1 card, and that last card is discarded. At this point, at the end of the age, military might is calculated and compared, and winners and losers are assigned or deducted victory points, depending on who's the winner and loser. At the end of the 3rd age, all victory points are tallied up from the played cards in their tableau, and the overall winner is declared. Seven Wonders, which is playable by 2 to 7 players, moves quickly as each turn one forms strategy based on the cards that have been passed from the previous player and the developing civilizations before them. The card contains raw resources, textiles, military, commerce, and victory point buildings. As winning requires amassing the most number of points, each player is going to want to think carefully about how the cards he or she has will work with what they have before them, as well as what the opposing civilizations have built. Each age offers more sophisticated and more powerful building and resources, and you'll need to build an infrastructure in the earlier ages to take advantage of these cards. If your neighboring civilizations thrive, you can purchase their goods to supplement your own. Will you dominate your opponent through military might, build a commercial empire, focus on theaters and laboratories, build a magnificent wonder, or some mix of it all? Many strategies are available, and the player that can best develop theirs amid the neighboring civilizations will outshine the rest and establish their people throughout the ages. In terms of the components, Seven Wonders is a card game, and so the main component of the game is the cards, and there's lots of them. The setup has the players go through each of the age decks based on however many players are present and take out certain cards or add certain cards depending on the number of players. The Wonder cards, the boards, they're thick cardboard and they're double-sided, one for basic play and the other for more advanced. Additional components include punch-out coins and battle victory or penalty tokens. These are all thick cardstock, have printed images on them that are appropriate for whether money or victory. There we have a rule book, which is about 12 pages, and then a quick rule reference sheet, front and back, which is helpful to reference during the play. And then finally there's a tear-off score pad that you will use to tally up the score at the end of the game. Now for this game, I think the artwork on there is amazing. It's really outstanding and beautiful. The wonders really look great. Not a bad one among them. The cards for the different buildings and things, they're all very expressive and the artwork is just terrific, I think, and it's certainly well in support of the theme of building up your civilization and empire. As the tableau in front of each player grows, the size of the components lend well to this growth without requiring a huge game table. The cards have the design of the cards make it where you are expected to stack them and overlap them somewhat, where you can still see what you've got, but it doesn't take up as much room on the table as if it was all spread out. So each piece of this game really feels high quality and enhances the theme of the civilization and wonder building in this game. So I really like it a lot. Our designated board game night falls on Saturdays because that day generally affords us the most time to play a game, and then we can continue it on Sunday afternoons if we need to. However, life happens and extracurriculars for the kids comes up sometimes, or house projects need to be done. So sometimes we just need a shorter game. So we've found that Seven Wonders is one of those that meets that need while giving us a rich gaming experience in a short period of time. And even some days when we're not pressed for time, we pick it up and play it for a great time, and sometimes we can play it multiple times in that situation. The card drafting mechanic, where we're passing the hands around, keeps the game fresh and randomized, so you can't count on using the same strategy each time you play the game. I also find a nice sense of achievement as I'm building my civilization and I see my cards stacking up in front of me and my wonder being completed and all the resources that I'm gathering starting to accumulate. This resource gathering and industry building well support the theme of the game in a way that's a real delight to play. This game has really moved up into the top favorites in my game shelf. It seems that most games that come out these days are designed for 2 to 4 players, and so whenever there's a game that comes out that's really good and it's for more than 4, we tend to pick it up and put it on our game shelf because we have 5 people that normally play with us in our group and our family. Card drafting is not a common game mechanic, so the concept may be new to you and your gaming group. For our family, however, this mechanic is not new. We also played Among the Stars, and so the concept is familiar. We just have to learn how it implements in this game and the game-specific nuances as Seven Wonders uses it. All this is to say that you may have a little bit of a learning curve as you pick up the game and try to play it, but for our family, we are moving right along, playing very smoothly by the second age on our first playthrough. As I mentioned before, this game does not take very long to play. The box advertises 30 minutes, and for our group of 5, it does tend to go longer than that, but not more than an hour. As always, the first game that we play of this, whenever we first got the game, took longer because we had to learn how to play it. We had to understand the rules, but nowadays the game, whenever we play it, moves along much more quickly. In terms of content, the Seven Wonders board games focuses on building and resource gathering, and as such it doesn't have any objectionable or inappropriately adult material in it. Even the battles consist of a single comparison of numbers, and so it doesn't depict any violence. All right, so let's discuss strategies that you can use in this game. Now, despite the randomness of the card draws and the shuffling of the hands among the different people, you can do some general strategizing, even though you can't count on specific cards landing in your hand each time. So what I would suggest for a beginner is to concentrate and focus on building resources in the first stage, and diversify where you can. You'll be building a lot in this game, and you'll depend on resources, and so it will be a good idea to have as much as you can. For one thing, it denies your neighbors of having it, and then it'll also make you have plenty of it, and then your neighbors will have to pay you to get it instead of you paying them. It'll also help you position yourself to where you can build the more complex buildings and wonders later in the game. So what about my pro tip? Well, my pro tip has to do with military domination. That's one of the routes you can go. You can choose to focus on that or not. But if you do, I would suggest that you do it early and as much as you can in those first 2 ages. If you are overwhelmingly powerful early on, then your neighbors will often give up the arms race and just accept their defeat tokens, in which case you will get the victory tokens instead. Wood and ore resources are the primary ones that are used by the military structures. So you'll need to have those on hand, make sure you can get those. These resources also happen to work well with the Rhodes Wonder as well as the Olympia Wonder. So if you think you might want to try for a military victory, you might start with one of those 2 wonders to help you along in those in those as well. All right. Well, in that being said, then that wraps up our show for today. Please, if you like this game, I really enjoy it myself. So I would just recommend it to you. If you do decide that you'd like to try it out, please support this show by using one of the links on this page to the game. It'll go to my affiliate link on Amazon, and you'll help support this show and keep the lights on. So if you enjoyed it, also please share it and subscribe to this show and share it with a friend. Until next time, this has been Jonathan thanking you. Goodbye. Thanks for joining us on Boards and Chords. Connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, or at our website at boardsandchords.com. We'll see you at the table.